what's up, y'all? Welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx, and Thinky Filler. Tonight's gonna be a fun one. A whole lot of y'all out there. We definitely appreciate y'all joining us. Today we are playing and featuring Root, designed by Cole Worley and published by Leader Games. Leader Games also very kindly provided us with a review copy of Root and sponsored this playthrough. So many thanks to them for basically allowing us to show this to y'all tonight. So welcome everybody watching live around the world as well as after the fact. I'm your host, Edward Euler, happy to be joined by, well, some really good friends and patrons.
I'm Jerry.
I'm Dominic.
Baker Dave.
Michael Brandt.
All right, before we start, big thanks to all our patrons. We have 713 of them that without them, none of this is happening. So big shout out to all of them, and a special shout out to Colonel Frank. Say thanks for being a patron and helping support the show, so thanks. So Root, from what I heard, it either is about to arrive or has arrived at the warehouse and about to be delivered to backers. So the timing of this is fortuitous.
Nice.
All right. So Cole, I know, is in chat, as is Patrick, the head of Leader Games. So appreciate you all joining us. Should be a fun time tonight. Now you'll notice there are 5 of us sitting at the table. It's a 4-player game. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to be running the game. I think it's a little bit easier for me to be able to do that tonight because all of the factions are so asymmetric. It kind of made the most sense. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. That said, I'm going to take down the player cameras and the chat for the beginning, for the teach, as I normally do. And then I'll bring it back up when we get ready to play. So y'all ready?
All set.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's get to it. So in Root, it's a fast-paced game of adventure and war. Players will play as one of 4 very asymmetric factions, vying to show that you are the most legitimate ruler of the vast wasteland. So what you guys are looking at out here is, first off, on the board. The board itself is double-sided. There's winter on the other side. You're not going to see that tonight. Don't worry about it. Just know that it is there. We have the victory point track along the bottom here that goes up to 30. And there are 12 clearings connected via paths around in the various locations. Each clearing has a suit. Think of it as like your regular 52 card deck suit. So there is fox, mouse, and rabbit. So we have rabbit down here, we have fox here, we have mouse here. You'll also note that the color of the trees also matches the suit. So the rabbits are yellow, so the trees are yellow, so on and so forth. All movement, save for the Vagabond, is via the paths from clearing to clearing. Okay. Each clearing also has up to 3 building slots in each clearing, some of which are already selected or already occupied, others are empty. Then there are the forest locations out here. Only the Vagabond can move into the forest or move into and out of the forest. Then you'll notice there's a river. In our game, ignore it. It doesn't exist. Only comes into play when the Riverfolk Company is in play, and we're playing with the 4 base factions, so therefore the river doesn't exist in this case, okay? Then at the very top of the board are the item boxes. It's important to note that only if an item is in the box there is it available to be crafted. You can't craft if it doesn't exist, okay? That makes sense? All right, so now the player tableaus, you'll notice that there are 4 player tableaus. They are all asymmetric player boards. Each board has a special ability at the top of the faction as well as a crafted items location for when they craft items. Then for some of the factions, the player aid is over on the left-hand side, whereas for the Woodland Alliance, it's up here towards the top. Most of the players also have warriors out here, so the warriors are the wooden pieces in this game. The exception to that is the panda, or the panda, that's funny, the raccoon, i.e. the trash panda, or the Vagabond. He is not a warrior. Outside of that, all wooden pieces are warriors. That's the important thing to know. Also, any square token, or any square cardboard pieces are buildings or items. So for instance, we have this being a building, this being a token. Tokens do not occupy the slots, whereas buildings do, okay? Then there are cards. So just like the clearings have suits, the cards themselves also have suits. So there are 4 suits of cards. There's the same matching, there's the rabbit, the mouse, and the fox, but you'll notice there's also a bird suit. The bird suit, think of it as a wild. A bird can be played in place of any other suit, okay, but not the other way around. When you want to activate a clearing, for instance, the rabbit location down here, you would have to play a matching rabbit card or a bird card because the birds are wild, okay? Most cards also have a second use down here at the bottom of the card, which is going to come into play for crafting. We'll talk about that more here in a little bit. So briefly, I want to mention what the 4 factions are. So we have the Marquise de Cat, that's the orange faction over here. Then we have the Eyrie Dynasties, the blue birds. Then we have the green Woodland Alliance, which is kind of an alliance of other animals. And last but not least, we have the Vagabond, who's gray, the raccoon, trash panda. I'll interchange those as we go. So the game takes place over an indeterminate number of player turns, with each player's turn consisting of the same 3 phases. There's the bird song, daylight, and evening. The active player fully completes all 3 phases in order. Then the player to their left begins their entire turn. This continues until one of 2 things happens. Either a player reaches 30 points and the game ends immediately and that player wins, or if a player completes a dominance card, has activated a card, has met the criteria, and has it at the beginning of their bird song, they win immediately. More on that here in a little bit. So we're going to go over the basic actions that are common usually to all the players. Then we're going to briefly go over every one of the factions, what they're going to be doing, and then we'll begin playing, okay? So some common concepts here. We'll start out with movement. Movement takes place from clearing to clearing. When moving, players move any number of warriors that are in a clearing from one clearing to one clearing. It has to be connected via a path. I figure that's common sense, but I figure I would mention that. To be able to move, the active player must rule the clearing that they're moving from or where they are moving to, either or. If they rule both, all the better, but they must rule at least one of those 2. So you rule a clearing if you have the most combined warriors and buildings. Again, buildings being the square in the slots. So for instance, down here in this example right here, we have the Woodland Alliance has 1 building, no warriors, so they have 1. The Marquise de Cat has 1. The Eyrie has 2, ergo the Eyrie rules this area, okay? So the Eyrie could then move out here to any of these available locations if they took a move. Make sense? Whereas the cats can also move here. They cannot move from here. Let me restate that. They can move because they rule this location or this location or this location. So because where they're moving to, they do rule, they can move. Whereas the cats can move from here into there because they rule where they come from. Does that make sense? So it's either or both. Okay?
At least one of the 2. Yep.
Right. So in the case of a tie, no one rules the clearing. There is a rule about the Eyrie about that breaks that, but we'll get to that later, okay? Ruling a clearing also will help facilitate other actions in the game as well, all right? So any questions on movement? All right, cool, I guess not. All right, so let's talk about clearings in and of themselves. Each clearing has up to 3 slots which can hold buildings. Again, those are the square ones here. Tokens do not fill a slot. They're just placed in a clearing and they do not fill a slot. There must be an open slot in which to be able to build a building. So if you notice over here, there is only 1 building slot, and if it's occupied, you cannot build in that slot, okay, or in that clearing. And each clearing, again, also has a suit, just to reiterate that. Any questions on clearings? Pretty simple, I think. All right, so now let's talk about crafting cards. Cards have suits, as mentioned earlier, and most have a second use, which is crafting, which is at the bottom of the card. To be able to craft the card, you have to activate a crafting piece in a matching clearing as the suit at the bottom left of the card. So that's a lot of words, so let's unpack that a little. Let's say somebody wants to craft this card. They could either play it as a mouse card to activate something, but instead, if they choose to craft an item, what they have to do is they must activate a craft building that matches this suit. So a craft building must be location where that suit is, which in this case is a bunny rabbit. So if you take a look over here, the crafting building for the cat is a workshop. Each crafting building can be activated one time per turn. So if he said he wanted to craft that card, it would cost him one craft building in a mouse location, and it's crafted. He then there are two types of crafted items. There are persistent effects and there are one-time use effects, okay? Or immediate effects. The immediate effects, you resolve it and discard the card. So for instance, if he crafted this, he then would craft the boot, which the boot is available up here. Remember, it must be available up there. He would then take it, place it into his crafted items. Then he would score one victory point, and then he would discard the card. Pretty simple, right? Whereas if it has a persistent effect, it'll have some kind of rule breaker that pertains to that player and that player only. Important to note that no player can have the same effect no faction can have two of the same effect, same named effect, okay?
One and done.
Exactly, all right? So real quickly, let me go over what the 4 crafting pieces are for the various factions. The Marquise, we mentioned already, are the workshops. The Eyrie have roosts, which are right here. We have the Alliance, which are sympathy tokens down here. Notice those are tokens, not buildings. And then the Vagabond has hammers, and the hammers look like this. All right, cool, makes sense? Cool. So you also score immediately any victory points that it shows on the card, just like what this one did. Any questions on crafting items? Sure, we can throw this back up here. No? All right, cool, moving on. All right, so now let's talk about battle. There are battles that can take place in this game. So players can fight or battle one another to remove their pieces from the map. Pieces, again, are warriors, buildings, as well as tokens. When battling, the active player is going to choose a clearing where they have warriors. So the Eyrie could battle only here. They can't fight themselves, so they can only battle here. The active player is always the attacker and chooses which faction that they're going to be battling. Obviously, they have to be present to fight somebody, right? So if there are no cats, you can't fight the cats. That kind of makes sense, right? So battling essentially has 4 simple steps. The attacker announces which faction and the location where they're going to battle. So the Eyrie, Dave in this case, says, you know what, I'm going to fight the cats here in the rabbit location down here. Pretty simple. At that point, the defender may play an ambush card. So, ambush cards. There are ambush cards in all 4 suits. To be able to play an ambush card, it must match the suit of the clearing where the battle's taking place. Or a bird ambush. Obviously, it would have to say ambush, but you get the idea. So a bird ambush is a wild ambush, right? If he plays one, then the attacker, the Eyrie in this case, has a chance to respond and counter the ambush by playing an ambush card that matches the clearing or a bird. If the attacker does not play an ambush, i.e. the ambush triggers, remove 2 of the attacker's pieces, 2 of the attacker's warriors immediately, and if there are no warriors left, the battle ends. Pretty simple. Whereas if Dave, the Eyrie, did play a matching ambush card, both ambushes counter each other, both cards get discarded, and the battle continues. Cool? Then after that point, then there's dice in this game. Then both players, or actually the attacker, will roll both dice. The dice are 2 6-sided dice that range from 0 to 3. So they're 12-sided dice that range from 0 to 3, and the numbers are equally distributed. The attacker deals hits equal to the higher value die, and the defender does the same, but with the lower value die, up to the maximum number of warriors. So in this case, it doesn't matter who takes what die, they're each 1. So in this case, they each would deal 1 hit, they remove 1 of each warrior. That's really simple, okay? There is also a case that if instead of attacking the cat, Dave said, I'm going to attack the Woodland Alliance. The Woodland Alliance has no warriors in this location, but he does have pieces. That means he's defenseless. What does that mean? He means he's going to take extra hits if Dave rolls or battles him. So let's say Dave battled, or he rolled, and there's no ambushes played, so on and so forth, and we have this example. Dave would impart 1 hit. The defender would choose which token or which building to remove. Because it's a token or a building that gets removed, Dave's going to score 1 point, because anytime one of those is removed, the attacker, or for any reason, the player that caused the removal scores a victory point. But then you'll notice that he's defenseless. There's no warriors there. So let's say Michael says, okay, I'll remove this one. Well, then Dave gets +1 hit on top of what he rolled, because he's defenseless. So in that case, he would remove that. He removed a token in a building. Dave would score 2 victory points. Okay? Now, no hits taken here because he has no warriors.
Correct, yeah.
Okay? All right, cool. So that is essentially battling. Really simple. Okay?
There are also some additional cards that can deal extra hits.
Right,
and
which
those
also
will allow you to
stack on top.
circumvent the limit of how many warriors you have on a space.
Okay, cool. All right. So it's important to remember that the player that got hit chooses what pieces they must remove. Warriors always have to be removed first, though. Okay? Any questions on battling?
Are any VPs awarded for removing warriors, or is it just for removing cardboard?
There's one exception. We're going to say no.
Okay,
if you remove wood, we're going to say no, that you get no victory points for that. Okay?
But of course, there's cards on rules on cards. So,
Sure, right,
yeah.
exactly.
Like the card I have.
There you go. All right. So that is battling. So let's talk about dominance cards now. There are 4 dominance cards in the deck. This allows players to forego worrying about trying to get to 30 victory points to win the game. Instead, they remove their score token from the track and now can only win if at the start of their turn, their birdsong phase, they've met the criteria on the dominance card. So this one says Rule 3 rabbit locations at the beginning of your birdsong, so on and so forth. This is Rule 2 corner locations, or opposite corner locations. So how do you get a dominance card? If you have one in your hand, to activate it, during the active player's daylight phase, again, daylight being the middle phase, if they have a minimum of 10 points, you cannot activate a dominance card until you have 10 points. But once you have 10 or more points, you take your victory point marker off the board. It doesn't matter anymore. And you play the card down in front of you, and that's now your win condition. Okay? If ever a dominance card is played for its suit as a normal cost for an action, because again, these all have suits and maybe you don't want to worry about the dominance card. If you play it and you would discard it, instead of it going into the discard pile, we're going to put it out here. And what that means is any player on their daylight phase can pay a card of the matching suit, i.e. discard a card of the matching suit, and take that dominance card into their hand. If at that point they have 10 points or more, they could then activate it, and that becomes their victory point condition. We would remove their victory point marker, yada, yada, yada. That makes sense? Pretty simple. Yep. Cool. So that covers the basic common actions for all of the factions. Now let's briefly go over each, I say briefly, but I promise to try, go over each individual faction, what they can do, and what they're trying to do to win the game.
To loop back real quickly, all that dominant stuff happens during birdsong, not daylight.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I said, each turn is broken up into 3 phases. One player is going to complete their entire turn here, okay? And it's birdsong, daylight, then evening. What happens in each phase for every faction is completely different. So we're going to have to briefly go over each faction now. All right, so we're going to start with the Marquise de Cat, all right? So normally, theme, not that big a deal. For us, though, tonight, because the little flavor text really tells players how it is, what it is that they're trying to do, I am going to read all these real quick. The Marquise de Cat occupies the woodland and wants to turn it into an industrial and military powerhouse, as cats are wont to do. Each time the Marquis builds one of their buildings, a workshop, a sawmill, or a recruiter, they score victory points. The more of the same building they have on the map, the more points they score. Exactly. However, to fuel ongoing construction, the Marquis must maintain and protect a strong interconnected economy of wood. So, I'm going to briefly go over all their actions and then move on to the next faction, okay? So, their bird song. So, at the beginning, place 1 wood token at every sawmill. So, that would be pretty simple. You put 1 out here. Easy enough. Even if it has wood already there, it just adds to it. Then in the daylight phase, the first thing they can do is craft any cards in their hand using workshops. Again, workshops here. Then they can take up to 3 of the following actions. They can take additional actions if they play additional bird cards. 1 bird card gets you an additional action, so on and so forth. So what can they do? They can battle. They can march. Marching is taking up to 2 moves. They can recruit. This is the one thing that is limited to only once per turn. This is placing 1 warrior in every recruiter. So as you can see, there's a recruiter here. If you had a recruiter there, there, and there, place 1 warrior out on each of those. The next option is to build, placing 1 building in a clearing that he rules with an open slot by spending wood tokens equal to the cost. The cost is exactly what Jerry's pointing at. So the first one to build out there is going to cost 1 wood. You're always going to take off your board left to right. So you spend any wood on the map that's connected to the clearing where you're trying to build it by any number of clearings that you rule. So for instance, if you wanted to build 1 here and it costs 3 wood, if there was a wood here, here, and here, you're connected and you rule all of those, you could collect all of that wood and then you could build whatever building that you choose to build it there. That makes sense? Okay, cool. The last option is overwork. Spending a card to place 1 wood token at a sawmill in a clearing whose suit matches the card spent. So to be able to overwork, you only have 1 mill out here. It must be what? A fox card or a bird card. Make sense?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So then the evening phase, he's going to draw 1 card plus 1 card for every uncovered draw bonus. So as he uncovers cards, or certain tiles, certain buildings, sorry, he will then be able to draw additional cards. Then he checks his hand limit after you've drawn 5 cards. If you have more than 5, you discard down to 5. That's going to be pretty consistent amongst most of the players when it comes to the evening phase. Any questions on the cats?
Nope. Good to
Cool.
know.
All right, let's move on to the birds. The Eyrie Dynasty. All right. Cool. The Eyrie Dynasty wishes to restore their once dignified kind to their former glory in the woodland by resettling the forest clearings. During their evening, the Eyrie scores victory points from the number of roosts that are on the map. The greater their presence, the greater their gains. However, the Eyrie are bound by their decree. Think of it as pre-programming. An ever-increasing set of mandated actions promised by their leader. Each turn, they must take all of the actions on their decree, or else they fall into turmoil. So the Eyrie special ability is they rule a clearing even if they're tied for presence. Again, presence being item or things out here. And I misspoke earlier. There are 2 here for the woodland, and there are 2 for the Eyrie. The Eyrie would still rule because they have the tiebreaker. Okay.
I don't believe tokens count.
They don't? Okay, so it is right. So it's essentially the same as that. Cool.
Yes.
Good. They also have a disdain for trade, which means they score less whenever they craft items. So the Eyrie's not terribly concerned with crafting items. So the birdsong for the Eyrie is they have to add 1 or 2 cards onto any column in their decree, which is their programming phase. They can only add 1 bird card if they choose to add 2 cards, okay? Then in the daylight phase, first they can craft any number of cards using their roosts. Then they have to resolve their decree starting with the leftmost column and moving right. However, within each column, they can do those actions in any order, okay? For each card in a column, they must take the action listed by the column in a clearing that matches the card. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So the leftmost column, which right now Dave has no cards in, so he's not required to do this, but if he had any cards there, recruit. place a warrior in a matching clearing with a roost. Well, he only has one. So if he's going to put a card over in his recruit, it better be a fox or a bird. Okay, because right now he can't recruit otherwise. The second column is move. He must move at least one warrior from a matching clearing. From a matching clearing. And notice it's a bird that's in his decree. The bird can be a fox, so he can move up to one. And he rules this so he can move to an adjacent location. The third column is battle. Initiate a battle in a matching clearing. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. So if he had a rabbit, he could initiate a battle here, or if he had a rabbit, he could initiate a battle there. If he had two rabbits, he would have to initiate here and here. Okay? And last but not least, building. Placing a roost in a matching clearing you rule, and it also has to have an open slot and no roost. So you can only have one roost per location. Okay? So that's the daylight phase. Moving on to evening, score victory points shown on the rightmost empty space on his roost track. So he starts the game scoring 0. All right. Then he draws one card, plus 1 for every draw bonus, discard down to 5. Cool? That's the Eyrie. Except, what if he didn't actually follow his decree? He couldn't do something. If he cannot take an action for any reason whatsoever, he falls into turmoil. And there are 4 steps. First, the regime is humiliated. He loses 1 victory point for every bird card in his decree. So right now it'd be 2 points. The Eyrie would move back 2. Then his court is purged. He's going to discard all of his cards in his decree, except for the 2 loyal vizier cards, which those guys are going to hang out for a little bit, but they're probably going to move. Then his leader is deposed. So the Eyrie has a total of 4 leaders. He starts out as a despot, and there are 3 others that can come into play if this one gets deposed. He discards that leader, sets it aside, chooses a new leader, and then moves his 2 loyal followers wherever the card says, wherever his leader says. And then finally he rests, meaning he ends daylight, goes into evening, which is draw cards. So any questions on that?
So his turn ends immediately if he runs into turmoil.
Exactly, right?
Or his daylight ends immediately.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so next we're going to move on to the Woodland Alliance. The Woodland Alliance, right here. The Woodland Alliance works to gain the sympathy of the various oppressed creatures of the woodland. Each time the Alliance places a sympathy token, they score victory points. Sympathy tokens are these round tokens. The more sympathy on the map, the more victory points they score. Gaining the sympathy of the people requires supporters, which are cards on the Alliance's faction board. These supporters can also be put towards violent revolt. A revolt establishes a new base, allowing the Alliance to train officers that increases their military flexibility. The Alliance, they're experts in guerrilla war. When defending in battle, the Alliance actually uses the higher roll. So there's a rule breaker on that. So you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk, so Michael, go ahead, take over for the Alliance.
All right. So, of course, I'm trying to spread sympathy. So, my first action in Birdsong will be I have the option to revolt in Birdsong any number of times using supporters. I have to spend 2 supporters that match the clearing I want to revolt in. So if I want to take over this clearing here, first I need to have sympathy there. And then maybe on the next turn, if I have 2 mouse cards or bird, some combination of mouse and bird cards
From my
supporter stack, I'll discard those. I'll violently remove all other tokens and pieces from that clearing. I'll place a new base there. And I gain a new officer. So once I've revolted once in a mouse clearing, I can't do it again because I only have 1 mouse base.
So no revolts here.
Then after I've revolted, which I can do any number of times provided I have the sympathy and cards for it, I can spread more sympathy on the map. I spend supporters depending on how much sympathy I already have out there. For the first 3, it just costs 1, then it'll cost me 2 cards, then 3 cards. To to spread sympathy to a fox clearing, I would need fox cards. So if I had a bunch out there already and I want to spread to here, I would discard 3, place the new token there. And it has to be adjacent to where I've already spread sympathy. I can't teleport across the forest.
No teleporting sympathy.
Once I'm done with Birdsong, I've revolted or spread sympathy as much as I could. Then in the daylight, I can craft, mobilize, and train as much as I want, and in any order. Those 3, the order doesn't matter. So to craft, I activate sympathy tokens in clearings matching the cards. To mobilize, I can just move cards from my hand to my supporter stack.
And that's how you get more. So one of the
That's-
main ways you're going to get more supporters.
Right, that's one of the main ways I get more supporters. Lastly, I can train, which is spending a card from my hand, not from my supporter stack, from my hand, matching a built base to place a new warrior in the officer's box. So, discard a mouse, gain a new officer.
And the reason you're doing that is because
Officers give me military actions. So in the evening, I can do 1 military operation per officer that I have. Move, recruit, and battle are just like everyone else's move, recruit, and battle. And then I also have organize. This is another way that I can place sympathy. If I've got a warrior out here in this clearing that is unsympathetic to my cause, not claws. Unless we've got some grammar folks here. I don't know about that, but I can organize, which means the warrior gives up his life and leaves some sympathy behind. And now I have another place where I can possibly revolt. And if nothing else, it scores me points right away without spending supporters from my limited supporter stack. Then at the end of the turn, I will draw 1 card plus 1 card for every base that I've played out there.
and then discount down to 5.
Discard down to 5. So it behooves my opponents to go after my bases, because if I lose a base, I'll of course lose my card income. I will also lose all supporters matching the suit that was removed, and I'll remove half of my officers rounded up.
Ooh.
And if I have no bases, I'm limited to 5 supporters.
So if you have a ton of supporters,
If I have a ton of
it's
supporters,
not good to lose
yeah.
your base. Okay, cool.
One note I think I missed is that in spreading sympathy, if I'm trying to spread sympathy where there's a whole lot of enemies, specifically 3 or more, it costs me 1 extra card. One last thing is outrage. If anyone is treading on me, they're moving into a place where I've got sympathy, or even worse, they remove a sympathy token, that sparks outrage amongst the forest critters, and I gain more supporters. They have to, the attacker, or
The invader.
the
if you
invader,
will.
there you go, has to give me a supporter, has to give me a card matching the suit, and that card goes right to my supporter stack.
Or a bird if they don't have that suit, or if they choose to.
And if they don't have the matching suit or a bird, I still get a card. It just comes from the deck, and it goes right into my supporter stack.
There we go. Cool. Thanks, Michael.
Yep, thanks.
I appreciate the break on my voice. So here we go. The last one is the Vagabond. All right. The Vagabond plays all sides in a conflict, making friends and enemies as suits his needs, while going on quest, to increase his renown throughout the wood. As the Vagabond improves his relationships with other factions, or removes pieces of a faction that's hostile to him, he's going to score victory points. So the Vagabond, being the lone wanderer, he cannot rule a clearing or stop another player from ruling one, but he's nimble, so he can move regardless of who rules the clearing. Because remember, normally you have to rule either where you start or where you go to. Also, the Vagabond only has 1 piece, the trash panda, or the raccoon. The Vagabond pawn, officially. The pawn can move in battle just like a warrior, but it is not a warrior. He is immortal. He cannot be killed, okay? So let's take a look at his tableau real quick, and you'll notice that he has a whole lot of items on his board. So there are 3 different states in which an item can be. It could either be unexhausted, meaning it's usable, or it could be exhausted, meaning it's flipped over, it's already been used, or it could be damaged, which means it's exhausted and damaged, and it can't be used until it's repaired, okay? If, or while undamaged, any tea, any coins, or any bags that are in his satchel down there can be placed on the line there, which are going to allow him to do extra things, whether that's refresh exhausted items or more of them, as well as boost how many things he can carry in his satchel, etc., etc. So his bird song, he's going to flip 3 exhausted items to their unexhausted, to where they're usable again. For every T that is in his line, he can do 2 additional, so up to 5, 7, or 9 items, okay, in his satchel. Make sense? Cool. Then he can slip once, moving into any adjacent clearing or forest without expending a boot. So what that means is he could slip into a clearing here, he could move into a different forest, he could do whatever it is he wants adjacent. Okay, that's a slip for the birdsong. Any question on that?
It's worth noting that when I refresh items, I refresh 2 items per T first and then 3 items, so I can't refresh a T to then use it.
Right, there's no chaining like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so that's his birdsong. Moving into daylight, he has a bunch of different actions he takes by exhausting items, flipping them over to their exhausted side. So I'm going to go through this real quick. To move, remember, he gets a slip during the birdsong, but to move, he has to exhaust the boot to move. To battle, he has to exhaust the sword to initiate battle. And these he has not acquired yet. Keep that in mind, only what's in his satchel. To strike, he exhausts a crossbow to remove a warrior in the clearing where he is. If a player has no warriors there, he can instead remove a building or a token, which means he would then score a victory point, because every time you remove a piece of cardboard, you get a victory point. If he removes a torch, if he exhausts the torch, he can explore, and there are 4 ruins that are out here on the board. These are random items underneath here, and when he does, he will take the item, and then the ruin will clear, and then that will make 1 more available slot to be able to be built. Aid. And we're gonna hammer aid here pretty good in a little bit. Just know that he can exhaust any item and give a card from his hand matching the clearing that he's in to any player that's there. So if he's in this clearing, he can give a matching rabbit or a bird to the cat, and he would then claim his choice of any 1 crafted item that he has. Okay? Make sense? Cool. He also can quest. There are 3 quests that are there at the top of his tableau. Go for it.
So for example, I could run an errand in a rabbit clearing, and the way that I do that is I exhaust the 2 items that you see on the quest card. And then once I've done that, I have the choice to either draw 2 cards from the top of the deck, or get a point for every rabbit quest card I have completed to date, including this one.
Cool. He also can craft. So there are 2 uses for hammers, and the hammers look like this. There are 2 uses, craft or repair. Crafting exhausts hammers equal to the number of suits shown on the card's crafting cost. So in that case, if he wanted to craft the favor of the rabbits, he would require to exhaust 3 hammers, and the hammers match all suits in that case, okay? Or he could repair, which is exhaust a hammer and repair a damaged item. So if he has a damaged item, it's already on its exhausted side there, he then repairs it, it then becomes refreshed immediately. And then he has a special action. He can exhaust a torch to take the action listed on his character card. And there's multiple character cards, and the one you chose was?
So I'm playing the Thief, which allows me to exhaust a torch to steal, which says take a random card from a player in my clearing.
All right, then we go into evening phase. Evening phase is really simple. If he's in the forest, he can repair all of his damaged items. Then he draws a card per coin that's on its track, and the coins are right there. If he has more than 5 cards in his hand, discard down to 5. And then last but not least, if he has more items in his satchel and damaged box than his item limit, which is 6, plus 2 for every one of the sacks that's on his line, he then has to remove items from his satchel down. And what does he do with them? Throws them back in the game box. That's all she wrote for those. Cool?
So when I draw cards, I draw 1 card plus an additional card per coin. So even if I have no coins, I still get 1 card.
All right. So we have 3 last things to cover for the Vagabond, because he's kind of the odd duck here, or the odd trash panda, as it were. So briefly, we're going to go over relationships. So the relationship chart represents how friendly or hostile other factions are to him. Going back to that aid action. So if he were in a location and he wishes to offer aid to the cat player, he can do so any number of times as long as he is giving up cards that match the suit where the clearing is. And obviously you can't teleport aid, okay? There's no helicopters in this game. So therefore, he could only offer it to the cat. So if he were to offer one mouse card, he could then move his token over and he would gain the victory points that it shows on there. In the same turn, he could offer additional cards to continue moving that up the track. All right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. When he reaches the allied space, he can move and battle with that faction's warriors now. Okay. However, if he ever removes a warrior, that faction's relationship with him is now hostile, and for now on, the Vagabond scores a victory point every time he removes one of their pieces in battle, including any warriors, but not the warrior that he used to put it into the hostile box. Does that make sense? That's pretty much relationships. All right, dominance cards. This one, he's the odd duck on this. So dominance cards, normally you just play it and that's your win condition instead, right? Once you reach 10 points. However, the Vagabond doesn't do that. Instead, once he's reached 10 points, he then can play or activate a dominance card, but which card it is doesn't matter, because what's going to happen is the Vagabond's victory point marker is going to go onto the faction that is furthest back on the score track. If they're tied, he chooses. And what happens then is he's now joined at the hip with that player. So in this case, the cat. If the cat were to win at 30 points, so does the Vagabond. However, if the cat activates a dominance card later on and wins via that, the Vagabond also wins. The caveat here is the Vagabond cannot do that to a faction that already has a dominance card because there's no victory point marker out here. That makes sense? Cool. Last thing, let's talk about battling as the Vagabond. So, it's not a warrior again, okay? The maximum hits that he can deal by rolling equals the total number of undamaged swords, whether they're exhausted or not. That's how many hits, okay, undamaged. He takes hits by damaging items of his choice. If he has no undamaged items, he sloughs off further hits. No big deal. He's defenseless, however, taking an extra hit if he has no undamaged swords. And that's pretty much all the factions. So again, the game ends. First one to 30 points wins the game. First one to complete a dominance card that they have claimed at the beginning of their next birdsong, they immediately win. And that's it. That is Root. Any questions locally?
Nope.
All right, we need to reset the board. I will bring up the camera and the chat. And yeah, I said briefly. I knew it wasn't going to be briefly. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to be thorough. All right. All right, so let me go ahead and shuffle these back up. I need all the cards, guys, real quick. And we will deal out 3. And I don't know if Cole or Patrick said I missed anything.
I didn't
Those
see
need
it.
going.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I didn't see
Cool.
anything about missed rules.
All right, good deal. So I appreciate y'all's patience, but I think it'll pay dividends for folks later on down the road.
I don't think it was here. Right?
Hold on. Yeah, this should be here. You should be everywhere
missing
but
a
there. He's
cat.
missing a cat here, so there.
If you could move me back into that forest.
You are here.
Did
We
I
have
have
the
2
4
there?
ruins.
Just one?
Aren't you
You
in the
should
middle?
just have 1. You should have
No,
11
I
out
chose
here.
to go there.
Okay.
Oh, you choose.
I don't think you
Yep.
talked about these.
That's 11.
Say again.
I don't know if you talked about those 2.
You know what? I don't think I did. Good call on the cat. So the cat has a keep token out here. You know what? You can read. Go for it.
Okay. So the keep, if I talk, only you can place pieces in the clearing with the keep token. So if I build new guys, they only go there. I mean, that's the only way I can put people there, right?
And well, only you can place pieces there.
Right.
As long as the keep remains, you are going to recruit wherever the recruit is. Okay, so nobody else can mess with that area as long as that keep remains.
So, for
We can
example,
move
Michael
in, right?
can't put sympathy there while there is still a keep there.
Okay.
And I can't move there.
Okay. So
I
how
thought
do
that we could
how do I
move
lose
in
it?
but not place new stuff there.
You
Yeah.
can move in, you can't place new stuff.
Correct. You can
Okay.
move in, you can't place. Yeah, good call. Yeah, yeah.
Can't place cardboard, can move in wood.
There you go. That's a
Okay.
good way to put it, right?
Then I also have field hospitals. So whenever a warrior is removed, you may spend a card matching its clearing to move the warrior to the clearing with the keep token.
The important thing here to remember is if, going back to our example earlier, if the Eyrie fought you here and removed your token here, if you play a mouse card or a bird from where it was removed, it then just goes there instead of coming off the board.
Gotcha.
Cool?
Perfect.
All right. There you go. So how many? Everyone starts with 3, correct?
Yes.
And then
Cole said that was thorough. He didn't notice anything, so
I start
that'll
with
work.
some number of supporters.
Okay.
I do not recall how many.
I will.
I'm
3.
afraid. Is it 3?
It's 3.
Cool.
Okay. And let me make sure there's no.
Dominance cards.
Yep, there you go. I'll shuffle that one
Thank
back
you.
in. All right, cool. So everyone's going to take a look at their cards. We randomize turn order at the beginning of the game, i.e. not really, but Michael's going to go first.
Are we giving you back dominance cards?
Yeah, are you not supposed to have any at the beginning of the game? I don't think that matters.
I'm not sure it does.
You have suits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, you don't.
Sorry, that's
I just
what
for
understood.
support.
Okay.
Oh, I could have given him one. Never mind. We're good.
It'll get discarded eventually
It will,
anyway, once
right.
I spread support.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, I need some water.
One
All right.
second to take a quick peek at my cards.
So Michael, the Woodland Alliance, will start.
Okay.
And I will have that. Well, actually, I'll bring the battle dice out as needed. All right.
All right.
Oh, and don't forget to place your bets on your winners right now, guys and gals.
All right. So for Birdsong, I have no sympathy, so I can't revolt yet. So I better get started with spreading some sympathy.
You don't,
So
don't you start with something?
I start
Nope, he
with
starts with
I
nothing
start
on
with
the
nothing.
board. Nope.
It's gonna
No
build the
one,
rebellion
no
from
one
the
knows
ground
my
up.
oppression yet. So I'm gonna discard one Fox supporter, which will allow me to spread sympathy to a Fox location.
And should note that because he has no sympathy on the board, he can place in any card that he played. He played a Fox card, so go for it.
Yep. So I will start off here because this also is somewhere where the Vagabond wants to go.
There you go.
And I want the Vagabond to be my friend. So that's it for my Birdsong. I'm not gonna. Ooh, actually, no. I want to keep some cards here so that I can be sure to revolt next turn, I think. So I'm going to move on to Daylight, where I will craft a card. I'll activate one Fox.
Yeah, you're good.
That's
Yep,
on
you're
camera?
good. Yep.
Okay. To craft an anvil.
So this is essentially tapped, if you will. So we'll just kind of, I'll hold it to show that this
we can
one's been
Kind of
used.
turn it sideways. I don't know.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's been used.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's been used. So I craft a hammer. Goes to my crafted items area. I score 2 victory points, and this is discarded. Where are we making the discard pile?
I got it.
With you? Got it. Mobilize. Probably going to mobilize these last 2 cards into my supporters. Actually, I'll hold on to this one for sure. I'm going to train, or mobilize there. And I
And
will
mobilize is putting supporter cards in your supporter, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm going to
And
change
you-
my mind. I'm going to train a warrior, so spend a card from hand, matching a built. Oh, I don't have any built bases. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to make it through this first turn
No,
someday.
you're fine. Don't sweat it.
Can't
Also,
train. I don't have any bases yet. I can't train officers.
1 victory point for sympathy
placing
as
the
well.
sympathy.
So he's actually at 3 victory points. Okay.
All right. So I will, mobilize one of my supporter cards, keep one in my hand. Then in the evening, I have no officers for military operations, so now I draw 1 card.
All right. 1 card. Boom. Done. And then we go clockwise around the table until somebody hits 30. Dave, you're up. The Eyrie.
So I can, first thing I do is either place 1 or 2 cards. I'm going to place a recruit card here with a fox.
Which makes sense since you have a roost in the fox area.
Exactly. And I'm going to have to build, so I want to place a battle, and I have an Eyrie card, so I will place that there, a bird
Okay.
card.
So
So I
that's-
have 1 of each spot, and so it begins. So the first thing I do,
So the decree. So he activates his decree.
I recruit, so we put another one there.
Where there's a roost in in one location that matches a roost matches the card. So it's a fox. So there you go. You're good to go.
And I want to go to a place where I can build.
Which now moving on to move.
So I'm going to send.
Minimum 1, maximum of all that he's got.
I'm going to send 5.
That seems aggressive.
A little bit.
Here.
Just a,
All right, so you've moved.
I'm
Poor
going to
kitty.
battle.
All right, so
Here.
okay, so you're battling obviously the cats.
Yes.
The cats now can play a mouse ambush or a
Bunny.
bird ambush. I'm sorry, a bunny ambush or a bird ambush if you wish, and that would remove 2 of the Erie's attackers if you
I
wish.
choose to pass.
Okay, so Dave could have countered had you done that, and just so I'm entertained, I'm gonna roll. All right,
Nice
so
job.
1 and 1. So it doesn't matter who takes what die, so they hit simultaneously. So each of those get removed. And
And finally, I can build. So I will place a
define why you can build.
because I have a card there.
Oh, well, but what are the prerequisites
Oh,
to
the
build?
prerequisites is control the area.
Rule the area, and there can't be a roost already there, and there has to be an open slot. All 3 of those good to go. He completed his decree. Your dude is not deposed.
Yay!
All right.
I get to draw 1 card. I do not get anything extra.
All right. When you built the roost, though, you should
you
have
get a
scored a
point?
point. Or I'm sorry,
in
in
the
the evening, you score a point.
I score a point in the
For, there you go.
I score 1 also for if you move at least 1 enemy building or token in battle. Score 1 point.
Okay, but you didn't, that was only a warrior, so you're good to go.
So buildings are the square
Got it.
cardboard, and
Right.
tokens are the round cardboard.
Cool. All right, so the birds are done. Moving on to the Vagabond. Trash Panda.
So I start by refreshing 3 items. All of my items are refreshed, so I'll skip that. And then I can slip, which lets me move to a clearing or forest adjacent at no cost. So if you could move me there.
You don't want a hammer?
I am playing hard to get. Ultimately, it's you that I want, but
Yeah, you're good, Rob. It's working.
but I want to make you work for it. So that slip, then I move to daylight, where I can exhaust items to take actions.
I assume the ruin is going to come into play here.
Maybe. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete this errand in a rabbit clearing, because I am in a rabbit clearing. I'll exhaust my tea, and when I exhaust tea, anything from the line, it comes back to my satchel. And then I'll also exhaust this boot, which allows me to claim this quest and pick a reward. I can either draw 2 cards or get a point for every rabbit quest I've completed. Since this is my first, I think I'll take 2 cards.
All right. I hope they are good cards.
Hi, Christopher.
Thank you.
He said hi to me earlier.
Oh, okay.
At the
Got it.
start of
All
the
right.
stream.
This is kind of nice. Like, I don't have the stress of somebody picking me and betting on me. I'm stress free right now. This is
Yeah.
kind of nice.
And nobody's picking on you.
Yeah, I know,
sounds nice
right?
for you.
Which is weird.
Hashtag neutral teacher.
Yeah. Hashtag good NPC.
Right, there you go.
And then I will exhaust a torch to take an item from a ruin in my clearing and score a point.
All right, so here, I'll let you unveil it. I mean, it's your trash panda.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
All right, an
It's a
extra boot. So let me have the ruin.
Yes.
And that opened up there, so he's got a boot to the head.
And I get a point for that, please.
All right, 1 for gray.
And then I am sharing a clearing with. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm sharing a clearing with the cat. And we're in a
do I
rabbit
foresee
clearing.
some aid coming?
Yes, so I will exhaust this sword in order to give 1 card to the cat that matches the clearing. I give him a bird card,
Okay.
which moves me up 1 space with the cat on my relationship track, and that gets me a point. And if he had a crafted item, I could take it, but he doesn't, so I forego that.
Should have come to ye old fox
I know,
clearing.
I know.
I would love to say that he did, Pete, Andy Creek, but no. Okay, go ahead.
So then I'll move on to evening. I'm not in a forest, so I don't repair all my items, nor do I have any damaged items. Then I draw 1 card, plus 1 per coin, so that's just 1. Thank you. Discard down to 5 cards, I'm at 5. And then I remove items down to 6. I'm at 5 items, so I'm good to go.
All right,
Okay.
cats.
So, birdsong, place 1 wood at each sawmill. So,
Yep.
daylight, first
Does
action.
Jerry start with a wood in his clearing?
No.
No.
Okay.
I put that before. Craft using workshops. So I can't. All right, second, take up to 3 actions. So I want to build.
Right, building is your key to victory points, because as you build these, you're going to score more and more victory points as you go along. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Nope, I am not playing. I'm just running the game tonight. Tetsuo.
So I can go as far over as I want since it's connected. My wood's connected.
By places that you
Chain.
rule. Exactly. So he's building a workshop over here. And to do so, you place a building, expending the wood, and it's connected all the way back for places you rule. And it only costs 1 to go ahead and build that. Okay.
2 points right away.
Yep. 2 points.
All right, so that was one action. Second action. So recruiting, I can recruit. I don't need a card that matches red. I can just put it out.
Correct.
So
Once per turn. This is the only thing you can't do twice,
So
or
that's-
multiple times, as it were.
So that's that.
So, as another option, instead of recruiting, which you could have done, I'm not saying you want to, but as an example, you could spend a card that matches, so either a fox or a bird, to put down another wood to then build another one somewhere else, if you wanted.
So
Just as an idea to be able to build a second sawmill as an option.
okay.
Okay.
That was overwork.
Yep.
So I need a fox, right?
Yep. So
bird.
overwork, discard the fox
So that would go there.
there. So instead of recruiting,
Yep.
and then as your third action, you can always build again. So spend that wood, yep, and
Pretty much anywhere, right?
there's a lot of places.
Pretty much.
Where are you guys going?
One thing to keep in mind, if you keep your sawmills near each other, it makes it easier to be connected to that wood. However, if you, what I'm trying to say is, you're limited, but you put yourself more at risk for the outskirts, but it's easier to get access to all of it.
Gotcha.
Hey, yeah, words.
That's a good point.
All right.
How's that? All right.
Cool. So that's all 3 of your actions. You could play a bird card to take more actions, or one more action if you wish. You don't have to, though. It's first turn. That's pretty strong.
I'm going to get one card.
And 1 more point also for building that.
Okay. I'll just take one card. Call good.
And that's your evening. Boom, done. First turn's done. Go ahead, Michael.
All right. I'll put my fist back upright so we can track what I've used to
There
craft.
you go.
So,
That's actually a good way to do it. I dig it.
all right. So first off, revolt. I am going to revolt this time. So I need 2 supporters, fox and or bird supporters. So I've got 2 birds here that will be discarded.
Okay. So run us through a revolt, sir.
So I spent my 2 supporters, remove all enemy pieces there, but I think that refers to cardboard.
No,
generally?
pieces. Pieces. Period.
Just all pieces.
Everything.
Okay.
So, real quick, let me interrupt that. Now, what Jerry could do is, because it's a field hospital, he could spend, because it's a fox location, he could spend a fox card to where this would basically regenerate or come to the keep right there if you wish to. Otherwise, it comes back to a supply.
Yeah, well.
All right.
All right. To the
So,
hospital.
he's discarding a dominance card, so this is going to go here, which that means we have our first dominance card that's available to be claimed. And anybody can claim it. It just can't be activated until that player has 10 victory points. Continue.
All right, next up, place the matching base and warriors there equal to total number of matching sympathetic clearings. So there's my base. I only have 1 sympathetic fox clearing, so 1 warrior. And I place a warrior in the officer's box. And now I've got a little officer and little warrior.
That's
I
awesome.
think Amanda said they look like toast. So
Yeah, they kind of do, right? But I hope it's not green toast.
Living toast.
I
Yeah,
sure
right,
hope
there you
not.
go.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so that's it for revolt part of my birdsong. Next, I will spread some more sympathy. I'm going to spread some sympathy to this mouse region over here, and I'll discard another bird.
And to be able to do that, you had to discard a matching card, right?
Yeah, discard a
Okay.
matching card, and it has to be adjacent to where I've already
There we go.
established my underground revolution. And I get 1 victory point for
And
placing
green.
the sympathy,
There you
uncovering
go.
that. Yep. Now in daylight.
Well played, Nicole. Keep going.
Now in daylight, I shall craft some root tea, costing 1 mouse. I get a tea token over here.
Here, let me have it, and here, so folks can see.
Yep.
1 mouse. He crafts a T, gets 2 victory points, and discards. Done.
All right. I will mobilize to discard to here. Well, actually, it is a fox, so instead,
is it?
It's a fox, so I will
No,
train.
just-
I'll train to spend a card from my hand to gain another officer.
Okay.
Now, in military operations, I can do 2 things. I'd love to spread more sympathy, which would require me to move and organize. So that'll be both my actions. I will
So 2 actions because you have 2 ossifers.
2 ossifers.
Yep.
Which way do I want to go? I'm really coming after
The trash panda.
So I'll move there.
I love this.
Since I since I ruled here, I can move from there.
Right.
And now I'll organize, removing this warrior, placing sympathy there, scoring another victory point. But now in the future, it'll cost me 2 supporters to spread
And-
sympathy in Birdsong.
And 2 matching supporters, correct?
Yes.
Right. So it's got to
Matching
be
the
right.
suit. Matching the
Exactly.
suit.
Or birds. Right.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's it for the military operations. Now I can draw 2 cards since I've got one of my bases out.
People are saying it's early to commit to a base, but then again, you're drawing more cards, so 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Dave, you're up.
I need to play a card or 2. I'm playing 1 in recruit. It's going to be,
You'll be okay,
a
Jeff.
bird card, so that means I can recruit.
All right.
So, starting in the line here, I can recruit in a fox area and anywhere I want. So there's 1 in the fox.
Anywhere you have a roost.
Anywhere I have a roost, right. And there is a roost there.
Okay.
Second one is a
So
move,
you've done both of those, so you good. All right, moving on to move.
and
Does that have to be in that order?
It has to go left to right, and that's why I'm spelling this out. Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm going to move all 4 here because
In-
everybody's there.
Objection.
All right. So
true.
No, a rule objection.
what?
This is a river, not a path.
Oh, he's
Good
right.
call.
I tried to do that a few times back on
Yeah.
Saturday too. So.
Yeah.
I did say
Well.
the river doesn't exist, guys.
You did.
All right.
Imagine the river is
I
trees.
guess I'm going here.
Okay.
Um,
Plus, that would have cost you a card because there's sympathy.
yeah,
But-
if I have the card.
right. All right. So you moved.
And I next have to battle. Well, there's only one place I can battle,
Correct.
so we'll do it there.
All right. So now, Jerry, do you wish to play a mouse ambush card to potentially move 2 of his warriors?
No, thanks.
And Dave, here we go. Dave rolls. Hopefully, he rolls better than he did. No, that was fine. 3-3.
That was much better. Good job.
Okay, so Dave would hit 3 hits. Obviously, he only has 1, so he hits 1.
Oh, that's
And Jerry only hits 1 because he only has 1 warrior. So there
I
we
was
go.
excited about the 3.
Yeah, well, it was cool. I wasted it for you, though.
did.
Sorry about that. So there's the battle.
And finally, I have to build a building, which I rule there, so I will.
Okay.
And that is the end of my turn.
Nope. That's the end
As
of
far
daylight. Yes.
yeah, the end of daylight, resolve the decree. I get to score victory points. So I get 2 points. Also, I get 1 point. I don't get a point.
No, you do not, sir. How many cards do you draw?
I draw 2.
There we go. All right, fine. I'll start using raccoon, people. Wow, you guys are touchy.
What's wrong with Trash Panda?
Yeah, seriously.
We own it.
Right,
That's our turn.
right. Seriously. All right, go ahead.
All right, I refreshed 3 items. I'm going to refresh my tea, my torch, and my boot.
And now, if you want exactly
And then
your
I can
tea.
freely move my tea back to my line. And then I will slip. So I am going to... So this is all considered 1 forest for me. I ignore
It
the
is,
river.
correct.
So, oh, interesting. I also was looking at that river as a road. That's unfortunate.
Do you see the cobblestones, guys? I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I will. Okay, I'm gonna have refreshed instead of a boot. This sword then.
Okay. So you can slip, correct?
Yeah. So I will slip into this forest.
Okay. And again, just to, this is all 1 forest, guys. Okay.
And then from there, I will use a boot to move into this
Clearing.
clearing. I don't trigger outrage because he's not a warrior, right? Only warriors
Right.
trigger outrage.
Just warriors.
Cool.
And outrage would be that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then I will fulfill my guard duty quest, which requires me to spend a torch and a sword. And for my reward, I will take the 1 point, a point for every mouse quest. This is my first. So.
Okay. There's a backlog or
I
a
forgot
jam.
this last turn. I immediately draw a new quest.
Yep. Okay. There you go. Because
Uh,
in theory, you could do multiple if you had the enough cards to be able to move and et cetera, et cetera.
That is the dream. Yes.
Dominic, go ahead.
So when last we left our intrepid hero, the Vagabond.
Or raccoon.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, the Vagabond
I had completed a
raccoon.
quest, and so for my last daylight action, I'm going to exhaust this T to pass this card to the Woodland Alliance and take the crafting hammer and improve my relationship by 1, which gets me a point.
And the reason it improves your relationship, it moves over it, and that's why you score the point. Yep.
Yep. Correct. And I'm going to move on to evening.
I craft using workshops, so I have a workshop, and a rabbit in 2 areas, right? So workshop.
There you go. So we'll sorry, I'm paranoid. Now I'm a little like watching the if we have any drop frames.
Sure, gotcha. All right, so that was all the crafting I'm done.
Okay.
So done with that.
All right. So we can reset these since you're not going to do that anymore. Continue.
I am going to build,
Okay.
so that gets me a point.
So you have to spend 1 of the wood of your choice that's connected to that via
Gotcha.
places you rule. So either of those, since you're connected either way, and that's going to be 1 point for the cat, the Marquis. All right.
Actually, I might just move it up there. I think.
Tetsu, I wouldn't hold your breath anytime soon. Okay.
All right, so that was build.
Hold on. You cannot build it there.
Oh,
The reason is because you don't rule there, nor do you rule here or here to be able to get to there.
Gotcha,
So you
direct
can't
line.
build it there.
all right, we'll keep it there.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so that was action 1. So attacking here
Mm-hmm.
is all this stuff. I guess it'd be 1 versus 1. Can I attack the green? Or is
Okay,
that-
so to battle, you would declare he could play, depending on who you're attacking. I assume you're attacking the Woodland Alliance. If that's the case, then he's defenseless.
So you'd be guaranteed to remove it and then owe me a card. But
Hold on. Don't tell me we dropped again, guys. Comcast is having some serious issues. Of course they are. So let me know if we're still good. Guys, sorry about that. Give me a thumbs up or yes, we're good, please. Okay, cool. All right.
So
All right, continue. Sorry, guys.
yeah, if you attack, I would get the high roll, but I don't have any warriors, so you'd be guaranteed to remove
To
my
remove
token.
it, but then you would owe him.
You'd owe me a card for a supporter, but you would score a point
Right.
and would remove my sympathy. So.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. The good news is, for those of y'all watching live, y'all are the ones that have to suffer through this. We're sorry. We have a backup to this that we upload after the fact, and that will have, that we record locally. So no harm, no foul there.
It's
Okay.
almost like this has happened before.
It's weird how that works. Okay, so you're not attacking, so you're recruiting?
So I'm recruiting 2nd,
Okay.
and then attacking. I wouldn't lose any people
Right.
unless he has a revolt or a.
If I had,
If
if
you
I
had an
actually had
ambush.
warriors there, yeah,
Or an ambush,
Or
correct.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's all good. Actually, battling's not bad because it's going to score you another point, and it gets rid of sympathy. Sympathy is where he can have revolts. Revolts are bad for everybody.
Yep. Everybody would die.
Isn't him.
Okay,
So
let's,
yeah,
let's do that
that's
then. Yeah. Well, my
Okay.
last action will be attack.
okay. So
Okay.
battle. Do you want to play an ambush card?
Nah.
Okay. So
Did I need a card to do that, or
Nope.
nope. You just declare it. That's it. So here we go. So that's going to be 3 and 0.
I get the 3.
Nothing
He
He
gets
gets
the
a
0.
0.
However, so he gets 0, or it gets 3, but there's no warriors, so he doesn't remove any. The 0, you hit him for none, but he's defenseless.
So it becomes a
So
1.
it's a +1. So he then can choose one thing to remove. He doesn't have much of a choice.
Yep.
So removes that, and because it's a piece of cardboard you removed, you would score 1 point. Then you owe Michael 1 mouse or 1 bird.
Yep.
And if you didn't have either, you would have to show Michael your hand, then he would draw a random card off the deck, and it goes straight into his supporters.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right?
And just to reiterate, I got the 3 because of my Guerrilla War ability, in case anyone
There you
was
go.
wondering about that.
Okay, cool. So there's that. So that's your third action.
So evening, I just draw a card.
Okay, just one because you have no other cards
Right.
revealed.
Thank you.
Boom, done. Michael, you're up.
All right, so Birdsong Revolt. I only have 1 supporter, so I cannot revolt. I could spread Sympathy. Let's see. Yes. Well, if I spread Sympathy back to where it was, he'll just attack it again next turn. So maybe I'll spread some Sympathy over here, where he's only got 1 warrior with the bird card.
Okay,
So that's 1 point.
1 for green. Okay. And I did explain how you guys get victory points, right? I'm just making sure. Okay, good. All right.
Look, man, I'm working on it.
This daylight I will not be crafting.
Welcome, Tom.
I will not be training. I'm gonna mobilize. I'm gonna mobilize all 3 of these from my hand into my supporters stack. That'll do it for my daylight actions. Then in evening with military operations, with my 2 actions, I will recruit 2 warriors, and they must go to base location. So the Fox base.
There you go. Fox base. It sounds something sci-fi. And to answer your question, yes, I am going to Gen Con. I will be at the Artana/NSKN, or well, the Artana booth. 1159, I think, is the booth number. Cool. And I'll have tons of swag there. Go ahead.
Oh, not quite. First, I just need a draw.
Sorry.
So I draw 2.
Okay. And 2.
Thank you.
Erie, you're up.
I get to play a card, and I'm going to play a recruit card here.
Woo! A lot of birds coming out. And it's important to note, you are piece limited.
I know.
Okay.
I plan to die a lot.
I like
the
the
spirit.
positive thinking.
Sending the
All right.
birds to their doom.
2 and 1,
Okay, so hold on. You did 1 fox, you did 1 mouse, and then a wild.
which went there.
Okay, cool. Good.
And then I get to move. All these guys are going here. There's your blood money.
Paying
Playing
the mouse card because
money.
there is support there. Okay.
Viva la revolution!
And I'm going to attack
Love it.
here.
So hold on.
Attacking
You're
me?
My
where?
battle.
Where?
Here.
Okay. So you're attacking the woodland.
Attacking me? Okay.
Yep. Do you wish to play an ambush card?
No.
Okay.
Jeez. I was
All right.
hoping to get my cards back.
All right. 3 and
So-
2. So well,
Same as my
good
last
enough.
battle,
Yep.
really. So
So you owe him a card for that.
I don't have one.
You have to show him that you don't have a mouse card
Yep,
or a
okay.
bird, which means you get.
A rabbit card.
Or I'm sorry. Why? It's the ears. I know that it's a rabbit.
the rabbits are they're like
Long
long
ears,
mice.
I know.
Long mice.
There you go.
He already got my rabbit card. I ain't getting another one.
And because you removed a token, 1 point for the Eyrie.
Right?
Okay, so that is your battle. Now moving on to your build phase.
My
sir.
bill face. Well,
You do rule. There
I
is
rule
space. You built a roost. Okay.
yes. And I get 3 points. As I'm done.
3 points.
Yep.
Okay. Before you start, Damien asks, shouldn't Dave have had to put down 2 new cards because he didn't put a bird down? No, Damien. It's if you choose to put down 2, only 1 can be a bird card. Okay. And a victory point for the despot because you removed a token as well. So because you're despot, so he got 1 for removing the token just because you get 1 every time you remove a token, but also another because of his leader gives him an extra victory point every time he removes a token or a building. So 1 more point.
Okay, and then I need 2 cards.
All right, 2 cards for the Eyrie. All right, Vagabond, you're up.
So when you craft, can you have the buildings in the same area? I mean, if I needed, say, 2 foxes, could you have 2 workshops in the same?
Absolutely, sure.
So
Yep.
it's,
Yep.
Okay.
As long as there's space. Yep.
makes a difference. Okay, cool.
So I'm going to refresh 3 items, 1 tea, 1 boot, 1 boot. And then I will not slip. I'm going to stay where I am.
You don't want more tea? I've got more tea.
He wants the cash.
I'm not thirsty right now. I might be thirsty next turn. And so I will use both boots to complete this mouse quest, escort in a mouse clearing. And I will take it for the points, so I get 2 points for that.
Because that's
Now I
your
have
second
2 mouse
orange.
cards.
So 2.
Oh, oops, that's
Okay.
the wrong deck. Here we go. And then I will spend 1 hammer to craft. Nope. Misread that.
What are you thinking?
I am in a different place than I thought I was.
Just for the record, you could have slipped. Just saying.
I could have slipped.
We can be lenient.
No, but I needed to complete that quest.
Okay. All right. So
Um,
not going to do that.
No.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to. I will craft these code breakers.
All right. Bring it up here. There you go. So requires 1 hammer. Doesn't matter because hammers are universal. Codebreaker says once in daylight may look at another player's hand. Okay. And we don't have space for that. So you know what?
Really?
I'm gonna have it up here for the Vagabond. Up here. Nah, you're never gonna remember you have
That
it.
might
So
be
we're
tough.
just gonna
Yeah.
let you remind. So go ahead. And
Every
put it
time
onto
you
that.
use it, you just show it.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure,
That'll work.
That works.
Cool.
And in fact, it's daylight now, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at. No, I'm going to look at Jerry's hand.
All right.
Let's see
All
what
2
Jerry's
cards.
got.
And Joshua mentioned that
Okay.
don't have to roll the dice because I wasn't a defending warrior. I know. Don't take my joy, Joshua. I'm not playing, so allow me to roll the dice even if it doesn't matter. Okay. All right.
It matters
Don't take
to
my
me.
joy. Thank
They
you.
don't need to be D12s either, because there's only 4 sides, and it's all equal, but
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. Right. Seriously.
So we'll go to evening. I will draw a card.
Because you can't repair. Oh, there's nothing damaged. Sorry. Well, that was well done. Wow. All right.
So,
All right, my turn. Birdsong, place 1 wood at each sawmill.
Okay.
When I take losses in battle, is that something I could lose?
Uh huh.
Okay.
Those are tokens, aren't they?
Yeah. Is that points also then? For the winner?
Uh huh. Well, although,
Yep.
you know, that's actually that's actually a really good question. So, Cole or Patrick, just to make sure, the wood are tokens, but when you spend it, you remove it, but you don't get victory points. But does an attacking player, can you remove those as part of that? And I think the answer is yes for that they would score a point if they removed it. But you
Well-
would have to remove the warriors first.
Yeah.
Right.
words would have to go first, but
I would think
that
so.
is a good
because,
question.
No,
but-
because it's
he
knocking
can-
out his supply of
It's any
wood.
building or
That makes
token, I
sense.
believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
Wow.
sense. Yeah.
Makes it.
Rolling d4s, yeah, horrible.
All right,
Derailed
so
me.
my 3 actions. First action, I'm going to build. And I can go all the way around to build. What am I looking for? This guy. So if I go all the way around the outside edge, I can build up there.
Okay, so you have to have access to 2 wood.
So there's my 2 wood.
Okay, and you score 2 victory points for that immediately.
Right, I'll get an extra card when I play.
Yep.
I'm going to spend, I can spend any card to overwork, right?
Okay, and yeah, it does. For what now?
Overworking?
It has to be spend a card to place 1 wood at a sawmill, and it has to be the matching clearing.
All right,
So,
there's a bird.
okay, so spending a bird, you could then overwork there or there.
All right, so
Yeah, sure.
go in there. And then for my 3rd action, I'm going to build a sawmill for another 2 points.
Once you build it, they will come.
Alrighty, done.
All right, and spends the 2 wood.
And so I'm done with that.
Okay.
And now I draw.
What? No, I already got it.
points.
Yep.
So I draw an extra card because I have an extra card exposed. So I
There you
get
go.
2 cards.
There we go. Boom. 2
Thank you.
cards. Done. Woodland, you're up.
All right, I will not be revolting, but I will.
Cool. All
Spread
right, we
some
got it
sympathy.
right with Cole. We're good. All right. And
That's
thank you,
good.
Zinth Noon.
Let's. Okay, I'm going to discard a bunny supporter to spread some sympathy down here.
Bunnyville. Okay.
So that's 1 point.
1 for green.
Going to spread sympathy again. This is going to be 2 mice.
2 meese. Mices?
Mises.
Or mises, that's what, yeah.
Mousin.
You're right.
Mousin, I think.
So it's going to be
So I have to spend 2 because
Right.
I'm up there on the track, and that'll be 2 points.
correct.
That'll be down here.
Yep.
And that's it for my birdsong.
You
Then
guys need to help
daylight.
clean that out. Dave,
I'm going to mobilize
that?
one
you
card.
need to help clean that stuff out.
Cats are sadists. They're not masochists.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, right.
And then I'm going to train this lovely fox into an officer at my fox base.
Ooh, fox base.
That's it for my daylight. Now in evening, I've got 3 military actions. I think I'll just recruit 3 times.
Got it, Cole. Thank you.
And now I've got a Fox Force 5.
Thank you. You've been waiting for that, haven't you?
Maybe.
All right. How many cards?
2 cards. And if you don't get it, go watch Kill Bill
Right.
after the stream.
or Pulp Fiction, isn't it? I think there's
Oh,
a
no.
reference of it.
Right,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah. No, it's
right.
Pulp Fiction,
Yeah,
but it's
right. Yeah.
Uma Thurman got me.
You could watch Kill Bill too. I mean, that's,
Just watch all
Yeah.
of them.
So,
Watch.
so this
watch,
is
oh,
Can't go wrong.
this
Yeah.
is the problem with the Eyrie.
well, hold on, it's not a problem. It's just, you know what? It's time for a new leader, is all they
It's,
think.
Yeah,
They
and,
need
and you lose all your points.
Plan
Not all your points.
No, you don't. You lose. Well, if you
3,
play a lot of
4.
birds.
Yeah,
I think it's
4 is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
He has
Pla-
8.
Plan More Good.
So, yeah.
Is that?
I'm not there yet. Hang on. So I have to play a card. Thank God I drew a bird card, because now I can move it to move.
All right. So,
So,
you sure you only want to play 1 card?
so I put another bird card.
yes.
As he complains.
I know.
So recruit 3. 1 has to be here. 1 has to be in a rabbit hole, which can be right here.
Yep.
And the other one can be anywhere I want.
Anywhere you have a roost.
Anywhere. Well,
Well,
yeah.
up north.
you're right.
So if we kick him out of one of those spots, then he would revolt, wouldn't he?
Yes.
Not necessarily if he places a. Oh yeah, because
Yes.
potentially.
Right.
Because that's his first action that he has to take.
Right. He has to recruit in those areas. Correct.
Right.
Yep.
So he's
Right.
Okay.
That's absolutely correct.
It's funny. You don't like the Eyrie, and it's my favorite faction, so that's funny. I like that.
Oh,
All right.
it's.
All right, so-
it's what it is.
So the 2 moves. What are
Okay.
you doing?
I'm looking. Good Lord. Can attack green there.
Sure, it's 5 points for you. I guess it's not. It's 1 point.
There is no opening there.
And he yeah, well, hold on. That's not true. There can be an opening here if you hit at least twice.
Right. I'm going to go here.
Where'd that come from? No, you. Oh, that was your last.
That was my
recruit?
last recruit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
So-
got it. Okay.
Yeah, it was
This is
my last
wild.
recruit. And I get 2 moves now. Holy smokes.
Joe, it's you and Edward. Yes, Team Birds.
So 1 here
Uh huh.
and 1 here.
All right.
Could you
So
move back
there's-
and forth?
This is an outrage.
It's from one place to.
No, this
well,
is
I guess
this is an outrage. You owe me a card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it needs to be a mouse or a bird. Okay.
Oh, supporter. Right to the supporter.
There you go. All right. So that is both your moves. So
Yes.
battle.
I
sir.
am battling green.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is going to be more of an outrage.
So I realize we don't have to roll. I don't care. 3-3.
Nice roll, though.
All right. So Dave gets 2 points for that. 1 for removing the cardboard, another for his despot, and he owes a card, either a mouse or a bird. He says, "Go
That
fish."
is not a mouse or bird.
So this will go back into a supporter stack. All right. And now build, sir. You rule the roost,
Lord.
sir.
Oh, Lord.
Hold on. Hold on. He's whining about this, mind you.
Wait,
but-
what's he upset about?
Hold on. About how many are in his
I just hope
in
I
his
draw
decree.
good.
But sir, how many points do you get? I forget.
4.
Okay. Up to 14.
Stop that.
By the way,
complaining.
everybody but the Vagabond right now can acquire this, remember, by discarding a fox card or a bird card to then, use it, okay? Don't forget. All right, so how many cards, sir?
I get 2.
I hope you draw well.
Me too.
I don't.
Hashtag poker face. All right, raccoons.
So I refreshed 3 items, but I have some tea, so I'm going to refresh all 5.
So it's 2 first for the tea and then 3 others, right?
Exactly.
And one other thing I wanted to point out, I think I pointed this out in the rules, that whenever you refresh, whenever you spend tea, it goes down there. When you refresh it, it can come back. Okay,
Right.
cool.
I've got a question on movement. Can I move one stack twice? Being I have 2 moves?
Yep.
If you rule
Boom.
either the place you are moving from or to
Okay,
where you
so I
move,
can-
rule
right.
or move to, correct.
And then I will slip over here. I would love to take a look at Banker Dave's hand of cards
There you
using
go.
my
Yep.
Codebreaker.
There you go.
Let's see what he's got here.
Oh, thanks, Damien. I'm excited too.
Okay. Now, let's see. I will spend a hammer, and I'm going to craft this gently used knapsack, which gets me one of the bags, the bag tokens from the top of the board, which increases my item capacity
To +2, correct?
and gets me a point.
1 point for the Vagabond.
And then discard.
Okay.
And then I will... Yeah, I'm going to exhaust my tea, so I move it over here, and my torch to give a speech in a fox clearing. And the reward I will take is the point.
4 score and many mice ago.
I will replace that.
Sounds like a
away.
violent speech.
It was. It was.
You see the oppression here. Rise up.
I have been watching the Vietnam series on Netflix. Amazing.
I've been watching that too. It's
Dude, Ken Burns.
Really good.
Does he
Oh.
do anything that isn't amazing?
Need to check that out.
It's really good. It's long, but so worth it. I've been watching it for like 3 weeks.
Nice.
Periodically, an hour here, hour there, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually going to fulfill another quest. I'm going to exhaust my bag that I just got in my boot to provide logistics help in a fox clearing.
Okay,
So that I'll take that for the points as well.
2 points. And
points,
now
please.
everybody at the current moment can.
Uh-oh.
And then I'll get a new... I guess I need to go to a rabbit clearing soon.
Apparently.
That's good to know. And I have a boot and a sword. Who am I with? Yeah, I'm going to spend this sword to give aid to my very good friend Jerry.
Good move.
Thank you.
So that means it's got to be 2 cards
Oh, it does have to be 2 cards. It would have to
Because-
be 2 fox cards.
because it either fox cards or a mix of birds or birds.
mhm.
Correct. Yep.
I'm good with that. I'll give Jerry these 2 cards.
Okay. So
And that'll be 2 points for me.
there and
And the Marquise relationship
nope,
goes
wrong
up.
one. Hold on. There we go. All right.
And I think I'll call it there.
Okay.
So I will draw 1 card, please. And then my satchel's not in effect, so I do actually have to discard an item, which leaves the game.
Because you're allowed 6,
I'm at
correct?
6, and I have 7.
And this, yeah, out of the game.
Yeah.
Choices, choices. Choose well.
Were items up here and here? Items also?
Correct.
Oh, everything. Gotcha.
I could discard my satchel, and then I wouldn't actually lose anything. I'm going to discard a boot.
Oh, hold on. Hold on real quick. You actually should have taken that when you gave aid.
Oh, good call. Good call.
So no, go
so that
to
goes
the,
over
there
here.
you go.
Okay.
And what does that do? That allows you to draw an
Draw an
extra
additional
card.
card, so I would get an extra card.
Good catch, Joshua.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Which means I have 2 cards to discard.
We've come full circle,
This is a real pleasure.
Cole.
You know, actually, I'm going to discard that, and then also a boot.
Okay. Wow.
I know.
So that coin
I
he
know.
just got and the boot are out of the game permanently because he's over his 6 because he doesn't have a bag that is unexhausted. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
All right, done?
All right.
Cole says small rules correction.
Oh,
coming
okay,
in.
hold on.
Freeze.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, the Vietnam series.
Backing up.
Coins won't go out of the game. Oh, the coin is taken, but only
Only out of the
items in
satchel.
a satchel count for. Oh, so okay.
Give me those coins back.
All right, the coins come back. Good catch. And that's why it benefits.
They're in my
having
pocket,
Cole.
not in my satchel.
There
Thanks,
you go.
Cole.
So you're good to go. Cool.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right.
And Joshua.
I do
All right.
appreciate that.
Birdsong. Place 1 wood. There. There.
Okay.
Craft. I'm going to craft.
This is a competitive game right
So
now.
the cobbler is, like it's ongoing. So at the start of the evening, I can make a move.
Okay.
I can do that because I have a workshop there and there, right?
Okay. Yep. So those are tapped.
Oh, I don't have anything else to do.
Oh, you don't? Okay. All right. Cool. So there you go. There's your craft.
All right.
Reaction, sir.
All right, so first thing I need to build, and I am going to build another
There you go.
workshop down there. Or not workshop,
Recruiter.
recruiter.
So that requires 3 wood, sir.
So coming from that way, this way, and that way over.
Good. 3 points. 1, 2, and 3.
I'm going to recruit again. So if you can throw a dude up there.
Where?
Up.
The recruit. Yep.
Yep, there. And then 2 here.
Yep. 1 recruit action. You can recruit at every recruiting base, and that's it.
That's a lot of cats.
That is a lot of kitty.
We need to do some attacking. Let's attack right here.
All right. So you're gonna owe.
Outrageous.
You're gonna owe 1 mouse
I'll
card
stop
or
saying
a
that now, I
bird.
promise.
No, you won't. I'll be disappointed if you do.
Well, wouldn't want to disappoint the teachers.
There you go.
All right. So.
This is a mouse or
All
bird.
right. So removes gets 1 point.
Oh wait, keep
There you go.
not my hand. Right.
You
to
could
support.
still ambush
There you
if you
go.
wanted, right?
Yes.
If I wanted to, because I choose not to.
All right, good choice.
Kal-El, maybe one day. Not anytime soon. Okay.
I would drive down from Laramie for that. Tell
Okay.
you that.
Good.
All right, so I built, I recruited, and I battled, so that's 3.
Okay.
My start of evening phase, I'm going to move 2 guys back here,
Okay.
protect the house, and then I draw a card.
Check this house. How many cards, sir?
2.
2 cards.
Thank you.
Woodland, you're up.
Okay.
So I'm curious, those watching at home, are you guys able to follow along, and is it making sense to you?
Why didn't
Go
you
ahead,
do
Michael.
the
All right.
brilliance?
Okay. First,
I use my torch for my quest, I believe.
I'm gonna revolt down here
I was also at my
with
All right.
2 bird
So
bird
revolt.
persons.
Those come back. So that's 1 point for green for moving a piece of cardboard. Everything in there. And the revolt goes back.
Remove all the enemy pieces. Oh, there's the supporters I spent.
Yep, thank you.
There's my matching base, and I get to place warriors there, equal total number of sympathetic bunny clearings, but everyone keeps taking away my sympathy, so I'll just do it with 1. And then I get to place a warrior in the officer's box. All 10 of my
Yeah.
little dudes are out there now.
Okay, cool, good. All right, glad to hear.
All right, spreading sympathy now. I will spend 1 fox supporter to spread to here, since it's adjacent.
Yep.
So that's 1 point. And then I've got 3 cards left. They cost 2 now. I'm sure I'll spend 2 mouse cards.
Mies.
Mies. To go back here, and that's 2 points. And that's it for my bird song. In daylight, I will not craft. I will mobilize 2. So now I have 3 supporters and nothing in my hand. And for military operations, now I have 4 actions. Let's do 1, 2.
Wouldn't that be 1 move?
Oh yeah, 1 move.
Yeah, you can
oh,
move a whole
that's
group.
better.
Right, yep. He's not used to moving. He doesn't normally
Yeah,
have this many
I don't have
warriors.
dudes out there.
Just sort of breeds and then
All
goes
right,
to sleep.
so 1, 2,
Yep.
3,
He sacrifices himself.
2 points,
So noble.
and 4. Now I will draw 2 cards, or 3 cards, since I have 1 plus the 2 bases, and discard to 5. I'm good.
All right.
Someone just threw a coalition out the window.
All right, Eyrie, what you got? Well, you were so excited about your draw.
Yeah, well, that's not the issue. The issue is I have 2 builds left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your despot's days are numbered. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yes, they are.
There you go. Right. The completed quest. Good call. All right.
So I'm going to put it in battle and recruit heavy and hope. So I'm going to recruit a fox here. Yeah. I'm going to recruit a rabbit here. Oh,
This
Lord.
party's doing it on purpose.
You missed one
That one's
top.
still upside down.
Killing me, Smalls.
It's a drunk
Okay.
bird.
And just, so that I keep my home base, I'm going to recruit one there.
All right. So all your recruits are done successfully. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dos Movos.
Those moves, huh? Oh, Lord.
And just to be clear, even though there are 3 pieces here, you were tied, but you have the tiebreaker, so you do rule. So these can move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just realized I could let people know my hand size, even when I'm not looking.
Hold on, wait. Somebody was saying, did you recruit here?
Yes.
You cannot. You don't have a roost there.
Ooh.
So Fox can't go
Okay.
there.
So I'll put my fox there, and my guy who can recruit anywhere, then I can.
Good
place
catch,
him.
Joe.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah.
Peanut Gallery
Thanks,
on,
chat.
on the ball. Or on the roost,
On the branch.
if you will. Drink. Yeah, appreciate that, Rob. Yeah, don't forget, like and subscribe, guys, if you guys are enjoying this. And also, if you want to support the show, we definitely appreciate it. PledgeHC.com. There in the bottom right-hand corner, we definitely would appreciate it. So where are you recruiting, homie?
I'm going to recruit here.
Because there's
See
not
what-
enough birds.
That's not random.
Thank you.
We'll move 1, 2.
Oh, man.
Yep, and that is legal because one move, he ruled here, he ruled there, and now he ruled there to move it there.
I'm going to battle here.
I'm shocked. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
battle number 1.
Yeah.
Who are you battling, sir?
I'm battling orange because they have the spot I want.
Okay, so do you wish to play an ambush? Well, hold on. I know the answer is probably I wish to, but are you choosing? You would remove a maximum of 2 warriors if it's not countered.
Nah, that's
I
okay.
don't like your chances. All right.
Yeah, either
My
way.
vagabond is watching and eating popcorn.
Right, he's go, he's eating
I'm betting on the
trash.
birds.
I need a
He's
good
eating
roll from
trash.
Edward.
Yeah.
All right, 2-0. All right, so the 0 goes to the cats. The cats do not hit any hits. There are 2, so that's 1, 2.
And I lived to fight another day.
Okay, so hold on. That's 2. You removed a piece of cardboard, so that's sorry.
okay.
That's 1, and then your despot says 1 more there.
And
Hold on. That's 1 battle. You have 1 more battle to go, sir.
we're going to go here and knock out the sympathy.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because. Okay. All right. So you owe a card, and that's going to be 2 more points for the birds.
And what is that? That's
That is
a
a
mouse
mouse.
card?
Go fish,
All
he
right.
says, and here's what he drew. Okay, so that's your 2nd battle, sir.
Yes.
And now you must build. And good thing you did that.
Yeah, like I said, it's getting tight.
But you got at least 1 more. You might be able to win it if you keep that going. How many points?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
3 cards. And that takes
One,
my
two,
hand to
three.
5.
All right. Good to go. All right. Raccoon.
Yeah.
Question, can I fight a battle in 2 spots? In 1 spot twice?
They're individual actions.
Okay.
So
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
All right.
not being a smart arse. Just yeah.
Okay, so I refresh 3 items. I have no tea, so I don't get extra items. So I'm going to refresh 1 tea, and then I will refresh this hammer and also this torch.
Okay.
I will not slip, so I will remain there, moving into daylight. I'm going to take a look at Dave's hand again. Thank you, sir. Well, how about that?
Me too, Sean.
All right, so I will use a hammer to craft. Ooh, no, I did that wrong again. I will slip. I will slip to here.
Wow, not gonna do the ruin. Interesting. All right. Oh, I guess there's a rose there. Never mind. All right. So on the slip in Birdsong, you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That was cheating because I looked at Dave's hand, so I'll remain there.
Ah,
It's cool.
fair point.
It's cool.
What?
He can't look at a hand
Yeah.
until daylight, and he was trying to slip, moving back, but he'd already looked at your hand. So, hey, he has integrity for a vagabond.
He's from Wyoming. What do
Honorable.
you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all on
Very rigid moral values. Great.
4
Four.
birds left for recruiting. Yes.
Yeah.
Just really trying to blend into the table there.
Oh, you know what? Okay, let's do it this way.
True.
There we go.
So I'm going to use this torch, and I'm going to uncover this.
Ruin,
Ruin?
and got a
Got
hammer.
another hammer. Interesting. That
And
does
remember,
not help me.
you're at 6. You're good to go.
I get a point for that exploration.
1 for Vagabond. Okay.
Then I will use a boot to move here
Okay.
and actually play the game by its rules. And then I will use a hammer to craft. I'm going to craft this root tea because I'm in a
Yeah,
mouse
bring
clearing.
it up. They can't see it. There you go.
Costs 1. So I will take a tea token. Nope, that's
Nope.
a bag.
Tea right here.
Us vagabonds
Yeah.
do not drink tea out of bags.
You gotta have a
Pinky
bag.
up. Pinky up. Right.
True.
All
And
right.
then I got 2 points for that.
Yep.
And then I have one more.
He did, Joshua.
One hammer that I haven't spent.
Don't forget, you either aid or explore. Although if you explore and it's not a bag,
I don't have
guess
any
you
more
would-
torches to explore with.
Oh, it's got to be a
Problem.
torch. That's right. I'm thinking aid.
So I can only aid the cats, and I would need 3 matching cards to aid the cats, which I do not have. So that is where my turn will end. I will draw 2 cards.
1 card left, and then we reshuffle.
And then my satchel can hold
6. You're
6
good?
right now,
Yep.
so we're good.
Yep. All right. Jerry.
All right.
Song.
Oh, I gotta put the wood down. On there. On there.
Yeah. No more there.
I did refresh items, Joshua.
Yep.
That was rude. Okay, crafting.
But I only got 3.
I'm gonna go visit a friend. So I get the boot, please.
So you're using one. Is this the only?
There is
Yeah.
no boot.
Okay.
Oh, these are boots.
All right. 1 point.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that's done. All right, 3 actions. I'm gonna recruit. Am I gonna recruit or am I gonna build?
Building a recruiter gets you the most points, but you need 3 wood.
I'm gonna get a wood down here at my sawmill.
So overwork.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's
In
actually-
there. Yep.
Action 1, recruiting action 2. So 1, 2, 3.
Yep. At the
One up there.
and 1 up here for all your recruitings. Okay. Done.
Did I build?
You have not yet.
Can I go the
Yeah,
other
I
way?
figured you wanted to
Yeah.
do that. So
Yeah.
it spends 3 wood. So you got 1,
Do I have a home?
2, 3. You control
Oh,
this, or
oh,
you
I do
rule
have a
this, so you
home. Okay.
can there.
All right.
That's 3 wood. That's going to be 3 points.
Does he put
gonna
another player out there? Because that's a recruit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would've
then
got
he would have
backwards.
Yeah.
recruited and got that. Yeah, good call.
So I did overwork, I did build, and I did recruit.
There you go. Yep.
And so I get 3 cards. I
Okay.
gotta throw one,
Shuffle.
throw one
That was
away.
horrible. So there's 1. Cut. Cut.
Oh, sorry.
Didn't mean to throw you off. Sorry. All right.
I wasn't paying
2,
any attention.
3, and you're going to discard 1 because you're at 6. And that's it. So go ahead, Michael, in the meantime.
All right. Where could I? Okay. Revolt. Do I want to revolt? We'll try to spread some sympathy.
That's trashed.
Now is the point where I can't spread sympathy without spending an extra card because all these places with 3 or more.
Oh, that's right. So it
Alright.
costs 1 extra, so all of them
Yep.
cost 3 cards instead of 2. Good call.
Yeah. I'm gonna revolt. That doesn't cost extra. Hooray! I'm gonna revolt over here.
Okay, so walk
2
us through the revolt.
So 2 mouse supporters.
Yep. Or
Birds are
birds.
allowed.
Yep.
Remove all enemy pieces there.
This, this,
Yeah.
and those. So that's going to be 2 points for removing the cardboard.
And then if he discards mice, he can medic those? Or
He can, if you,
hospitalize?
right, because they came from the mouse, because you're field hospital. If you wish, up to 4 of them can be put here.
I'll do 1.
Okay, 1 mouse goes here, the other's off the board,
Now I place my matching base there.
which is
And-
Mouseketeers.
And if I had another warrior, I would put him there. But they're all
Okay.
busy.
Well, that sucked.
And also I would place another warrior in the officer's box. But what can I do? Okay, so now spreading sympathy. As I mentioned, that would cost me an extra card, so I can't do that anywhere. So on to daylight. I will just...
That hurt.
You did. I should have.
Sympathy. Nasty.
Yeah. I should have paid attention.
Yep.
to what was
That's
on.
all good.
I
All
will
good.
just mobilize all 3 of these cards.
Okay.
So I've got 5 supporters. And then in the evening, for my
Game
military
on.
actions.
It's getting real.
Yeah.
This is tense.
So what happens in big battles? You just roll one
Yeah, it's
dice
same
one time?
thing. Yep.
But it's not.
Let's see.
But plus any extra hits if anything's undefended or if you have any cards or anything like that.
Right, but you only roll the dice once.
Do I
Correct.
go attack some birds or just make sure that he can't build? Does he have to have the majority to be able to build?
He must rule.
He must rule.
There must be an empty location,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to have a roost available. And there can't be a
Okay.
roost there as well.
So if you can knock out the
Okay.
reds or
Read what it
yellows,
says on build.
Yeah.
The tricky thing is he can move through the big groups to the smaller groups.
Through
Correct.
the big
No.
groups.
Well, with multiple moves, he
Yeah,
can.
since he's
he has
got multiple
2
moves
he can
actions.
move his
Exactly.
giant bird
Yeah.
army 2 spaces.
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is-
but only if I'm moving from a roost, someplace I control.
yeah, well,
No,
you
you can
could.
always move from a matching clearing, and there's 2 bird cards.
Yeah.
There's
so
no roost required.
Oh,
Yeah,
just have to rule it.
maybe I
and
shouldn't have told you that.
yeah, I didn't realize that.
Right. So we just need to knock out the rabbits or
He's
foxes.
got enough cards or enough guides that he'll be able to move in, rule the new place, and then just keep moving. Okay.
But don't you have to?
Yeah, you move
That's
You
in.
right.
have to control the clearing, right?
But you will when you move in with a bunch of guys.
There you go. You'll
Oh,
rule
I
at
see
that
what you're
point.
saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we should give shout out to Kyle who's in chat. Kyle Farron did all the amazing artwork in this. Thanks
Oh,
for
nice.
the heads up and the reminder.
I really like the
generate-
backslide side.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh,
nice. looking.
everything about this looks great.
Yeah. All right, let's try this out. I will. Okay, 4 military operations. I will move here.
I'm rooting for the cat. Boom, boom. Well done, Kyle.
I'm going to battle the
Bad
birds. I'm gonna battle the birds over here.
Okay, all right. Fight's on. All right, so do you wish to play any mouse ambush or any... Okay, there is a mouse ambush.
Well, that's unfortunate.
So now,
Yeah.
so now the Woodland Alliance can counter that with a mouse ambush or a bird ambush.
She has no cards.
So let me
Yeah.
walk through it.
Oh, I was excited.
Okay, so he removes 2. That gets discarded, and the battle continues. Here we go. The good news for the Woodland Alliance is they take the bigger number, which is 0-0.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
Well,
so you're right for trying
That
to
was
fight
cool.
instead of just spread my sympathy everywhere.
so that's done.
Oh, that was too bad.
What pointless war.
Yeah.
War.
Okay.
What is
All right,
it good
two
for?
more military operations.
Up to 2. Yeah, it was a bloodless battle. Well, except for the 2 that got ambushed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just
Except
got
for-
choked out.
except for
There was
that.
no blood.
I could just recruit the 2.
He's been rolling double 3s all night, and then we have an actual battle where you're supposed to
Right.
roll, and he rolls
Right.
2 zeros.
Only
Ridiculous.
only me could not play the game and still get criticized. That's
Deserved it.
Okay. I'll definitely recruit 1 here, and now I'm
Watch the
thinking.
battle in the clearing with pillows.
I'm thinking of organizing here or recruiting another one here. I'm gonna go ahead and organize to score 2 points.
All right, 2 for green, which is good enough for second place.
And then I get to draw 4 cards. So I got that going for me. which
There is
nice.
that. Okay, done.
Just hope I live to see another turn.
Here we go. Eyrie, remember, it is sudden death. The moment somebody hits 30, game ends.
Let's see.
That's a Gears of War reference. War never changes, right?
Right, yeah.
I think so, right, Portos? Yeah, my bad. That's the next coin. Roll better, play better. Yeah, that's the next one. There we go.
RNG better.
You're right. Seriously, my bad. All right, I'll put out the real dice that didn't have nothing but zeros on it. Fine.
I would finish all my moves before I battle, correct?
I think that's
in,
left
in
right.
the in the game of the decree. You
Yes,
go from
yeah,
left
I do.
to right.
Okay. I'm trying.
Oh, chat's down. Cool. Thanks. Got it. I'm on it.
That gives me more time to think.
Reference
Oh,
the
no.
wrong video game, Edward.
Oh no, huh? Oh, right. It's Fallout.
I shouldn't distract you while you're getting
Right,
checked back.
hold on. We're trying to get it back up. Hopefully it sticks this time. There we go. All right, cool. Thank you guys. Sorry about that. Yay, beta software.
Cthulhu Dreams, the Vagabond is waiting for the correct moment to surge ahead,
Well,
which might be next game.
It's a,
All
wait,
right.
it's a waiting game.
Yeah.
This could be all right.
I'm
So
playing the long
Dave,
game.
walk us through. You can do your recruits in any order. There are 4 left, which these are the last 4.
Which means next turn he has to turmoil unless he loses birds. Because he won't have anyone to recruit.
Yeah. So do you battle him or not?
So maybe it was good that Michael failed to remove any birds. From
I'm trying to think if I
Well
would
done.
be.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the plan.
Yeah. Hashtag.
You know what? I'm going to change this. Thinking about it, it's going to be this.
Okay. So 3 recruits. Go for it.
So, 2 here.
So you got a fox and a bird, and nope, not here. It's got to be a rabbit.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, right.
yeah, one of these. Okay. So that's all your recruits. 2 moves from anywhere to anywhere that you rule. That remember
Gross.
that you can
That
only
is
you'll only
disgusting.
hit for 3 if okay.
Disgusting
go
display.
there. And then they all go there.
Dave's trying to
So
send a message.
1 move.
But you,
And he okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he now rules here and can move on for a second move.
You owe me a fox card.
Yep. There we go. And so that's both of your moves. You have 3 battles.
I'm going to start with the fox battle here.
Here? Who
I got the high roll.
I guess you're... All right. So he does have the high roll.
And I'm not defenseless, so how about a 3 and a 0? That'd be
Okay.
fun.
All right. Let's see what I can do. How about 2-2?
I don't like that so much.
Okay. So you can only hit for 1. So 1 of the Eyrie dies. And 2. So he dies and something else.
Then the sympathy will go.
Which means you owe another card, Dave. You owe another fox card. Or
Okay.
go fish. And he then draws from the deck that. Remove this. That's going to be 2 points. 1 for removing the cardboard. 1 for the despot. That is 1 battle. Battle number 2. They can be anywhere because that was the fox battle in his decree.
Right. And I'm going to do a bird battle there.
Where?
Here.
Okay. Bird battle here. So,
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause I
okay. There we go. All right. So he removes the base.
So I have to discard all matching supporters. So my foxes and my birds are done.
Thanks, Kyle. All right. So discards all those supporters.
And then I remove half my officers, round it up,
Ouch.
and now I'm under 5 supporters, but I still have bases.
Removed a
so.
piece of cardboard. That's going to be 1 point and 1 more point. So that is the second battle. You have a third battle that you're required to do now.
Yes, I do.
And it can be anywhere because it's a bird.
Yeah.
Do you want a hint?
Or that. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah, because I don't have to win the battle.
Well,
What?
you win by,
I'm
by
defenseless.
saying that.
You just give me a mouse
Yeah.
card, but
Gives you-
He's just getting 4 from his.
Gives you 2
end of
points.
The game's going to be over, but let's
Right.
finish it through.
Yeah.
So you're going to battle here.
Yes.
On the, there you go. He wins. It doesn't matter what he
and
rolled.
then I get a card. He has none
So he draws
that.
there. 2 points. 1 for the cardboard, 1 for the despot. That's all 3 battles. He must recruit somewhere. There is a space, and he rules. And then he goes into evening and scores.
5 points.
Boom, game over. There we go.
I like playing the Eyrie.
Got better.
Didn't like it last time.
Yeah. So there you go. That's Root, right?
Nice.
So because it's a sponsored playthrough, guys, we're not going to do a final thoughts, a roundtable discussion on that. We've stopped doing that. We figure we don't want any want to keep it on the up and up.
Before
Go
we
ahead.
do this,
Yeah.
there was a question. How does
Sure.
an Eyrie topple work? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good point. Let's run through it. Okay.
Yeah, so let's say I couldn't build there.
Or he couldn't do something in his decree.
Anything.
Right. Any of it. There are 4 steps. So step 1 would be.
Is humiliate, lose 1 victory point per bird card.
So he would lose
Including
1, 2,
visitors.
3, 4, 5. He would have lost 6 points. So he would have gone back 6 points. Next.
We should have done this.
Purge, discard decree, except visors. All the
So
the
all of his
visors,
cards,
all the cards go off.
except for the 2 viziers. Okay.
I think it's important to know too that it happens right when he can't do it.
Right. It
So
stops.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it just turns over.
Exactly. Right. So that's step 2. Step 3.
Your leader goes bye-bye.
He dies. He chooses another leader. So let's say he chose that leader.
Let's say I choose this leader. This leader is recruit and move for the because each one of the leaders has a different place to put your lords.
Right. And then his
The
special
final
ability
thing is
as well.
rest, immediately end daylight, and go to evening.
There you go. So that's
So I'll
what
go
would
boom, boom.
have happened. Just Dave either played it perfect or everyone else played it really poorly. I'm not sure which. Honestly, I think this was pretty competitive. I will say that. But yeah, so that is Root. Again, thank you to Cole for designing the game. Thanks to Leader Games for sponsoring the playthrough and giving us the review copy to be able to show off to you guys. So hopefully this helps you guys decide whether or not it's going to be a good fit for you and your group. So that's just about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to support the show and see more stuff like this, we definitely would appreciate it. Go to pledgehc.com. Again, I'm Edward.
Jerry?
Dominic.
Baker Dave.
Michael.
All right, y'all have a wonderful night. Thanks everybody for joining us. Take care, y'all.
Thanks.